Yo, so what is good, everybody on YouTube? We are back today with a brand new video, and you saw the title. We are going to be doing a James Harden career simulation. Obviously, a lot of news going on with James Harden and the Rockets, and him potentially leaving, so let's see what the rest of his career will actually play out as. Obviously, one of the best scorers in the NBA, but he definitely has his issues, so let's see how year one turns out. And as you can see, in year one, Bron gets himself another MVP. And where's our guy James Harden? Did he make any of the All-NBA teams? And he actually did not with the Rockets this year. And let's see where the Rockets ended up falling in their standings. And would you look at that? They actually missed the playoffs, which definitely sucks, despite a very, very good year from James Harden. And there's nothing really else he can do there. So hopefully, eventually, he'll be able to leave the Rockets or something. And here we go. Actually, there was a trade. So I guess the Rockets weren't happy with kind of how that team was meshing. And they ended up with Tobias Harris. So let's see what this deal actually looked like. Make sure that he did go to the Sixers. And yes, he did. So let's look at this trade. It ended up being James Harden and Kenyon Martin Jr. for Matisse Thybulle, Tobias Harris, and 2 firsts. And before you say that's too unrealistic, let's remember Jimmy Butler only got... To get Jimmy Butler, it only took Dario Saric, Robert Covington, and a first as well. So you can kind of see that Jimmy Butler is one of the most dominant players in the league last year with that Heat team. So let's see how it ends up playing out with James Harden on the Sixers here. So in year one, you see Matisse actually goes to the all-defensive first team there. But James Harden bounces back to the All-NBA second team alongside Joel Embiid, and Ben even getting the All-NBA third team, propelling the Sixers to the number 4 seed in the Eastern Conference with 47 wins on the year. James Harden leading the team in scoring, but of course they have a big three there right now of Harden, Embiid, and Simmons, and a pretty decent couple pieces off the bench in Tyrese Maxey and Seth Curry as well. So you can kind of see what the rotations are looking like here, and not bad by any means to really take a look into it. You see we even have Duncan Robinson running the 3 for this team, working with a 3.5-star system proficiency. Definitely think that this team can make a run. First round here up against a Cavaliers team that's been balling out early in this year. Colin Sexton's been progressing a lot, just an absolute bucket getter. And we actually find ourselves down in this series early 3-2 against this Cavs team. So of course, as always, we will be hopping to Simcast and seeing if we can push this to a Game 7. And yes, sir, after beating them by 34 in Game 6, we will be pushing it to a Game 7. So let's get it, boys. Huge game there from Embiid and Ben. And let's see, are the real ballers going to step up for us in Game 7 here and help us get to the second round of the NBA playoffs here? And yes, sir, with another dub there. Ben dropping 33 and 11, another 32 from Embiid, and Harden actually taking the backseat, only putting up 10 with 13 assists. Second round here up against the Boston Celtics, an always tough matchup between Philly and Boston. One for the century, honestly, back and forth always, and it is a close one here as well. We find ourselves in another Game 7 situation. We will be hopping into Simcast and seeing how this one plays out, and it's looking decent for us here as we end up taking it 138-112. Jason Tatum leading the Celtics, Ben Simmons leading the Sixers, moving us into the Eastern Conference Finals, where we're going to be matching up against Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks. Let's see how this one goes. They did come in the 8th seed, but they've been having an impressive playoff series here, just routing KD and the Nets. And would you look at that, we end up sweeping them 4-0 in the dub. Looking at the player stats from that game, Trae obviously doing his thing, going crazy. And on our side of the ball, James Harden matching him with Embiid, putting up 25 and 23 in that game. And Ben having a fantastic game as well. Moving us to the finals, up against this super young Pelicans team that we all know is a problem in these 2K Sims. We find ourselves down yet again 3-2, but that is not something this Sixers team is not used to in these playoffs. So let's see, can we push it to Game 7? And yes, sir, we can, with a 7-point dub over the Pelicans. James Harden dropping a 44-piece on their head, putting us into the clutch up or go home situation in Game 7 here. And as you can see, we hop in with a pretty big lead here. Embiid going into the paint, grabbing his own board, and bullying Jackson Hayes as we find ourselves up 134-113. Brandon Ingram going in, getting a quick, easy bucket. But that's going to be all she wrote, as you can imagine. Seth Curry dribbling the ball out, 134-115. 13. A huge dub there, 19 points. James Harden goes from strip clubs to NBA championship already in this sim, and I'm excited to see what this team can do moving forward. And even better yet, take a look into the stats of this game and see who ends up getting Finals MVP and who really balled out in crunch time Game 7 for us here. So let's take a look. Looking into the box score, their leading scorer was Brandon Ingram, and look at that 57-point performance from James Harden, also securing himself a Finals MVP with this Sixers team. It looks like it was just a fit made in heaven, honestly. Moving us into year 3 of the sim. Potential to potentially go back-to-back here. James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, Ben Simmons, Chetty Osman, and Joel Embiid rounding out our starting 5. Our bench, a little lackluster, working with a 4-star system proficiency yet again. And let's get into it. As you can see, Trigger Trey gets MVP here. And let's see where all of our guys here are here with the All-NBA teams. All-NBA second team, James Harden does secure himself a spot yet again. And the Sixers come in with 46 wins on the year. Right around where we were last year. So we definitely have potential to go back-to-back. James Harden coming in with 30.7 points per game. Absolutely balling out. Joel Embiid doing his thing. And a little surprise for me, our third highest scorer is not Ben Simmons, but instead Tyrese Maxey. You love to see it. What a steal the Sixers got themselves in the draft with him. Tyrese Maxey, obviously. You see Harden almost playing 39-ish minutes a game here in these playoffs. So let's see what we can do here. First round matchup up against Domantas Sabonis and the Indiana Pacers. A team that a lot of people always look by, but they are a gritty team. We find ourselves down 3-2 in the series in the first round, which you hate to see. But if we can clutch up here, I got faith in our guys, and yes, sir, we push it to a Game 7 with a 31-point performance there from Harden, and a sneaky 23 from Will Barton as well. I'll take it. We're going to Game 7 with this Pacers squad, baby. We have not been afraid to show up in Game 7 so far, so let's see what we could do here. And yes, sir, we end up taking it 131-106. James Harden dropping another 30-piece. Tyrese Maxey dropping 27 as well to get it done. Moving us to the second round up against the number 1 seeded Orlando Magic. Markelle Fultz, Terrence Clark, Jonathan Isaac, JT Thor, Vucevic, Mo Bamba, and Cole Anthony off the bench. Some pretty good depth, but I think we're the better team. We get down early 2-0, but we come back with 3 straight dubs, putting us up in the series 3-2. Hopping into Simcast as always in these tight games, and it's not looking great. We're going to Game 7 yet again, baby. Terrence Clark dropping 34 and another 26 and 24 there from Cole Anthony and Markelle Fultz to get it pushed to a Game 7. So let's see what type of action we got going on here. Game 7, if it's close enough, we're going to hop in, of course. This is a big time game to get us to the Eastern Conference Finals here. So let's see what we got going on. And you see, right now this is an absolute trench battle, a dogfight back and forth. We hop in, Ben smacking his final free throw there, giving us a 3-point lead with 1:21 left on the clock. Not what you want to see. Chris Paul doing his thing. I didn't even know they had Chris Paul, but apparently they do. Driving in, getting a bucket, and wow, that was a big opportunity. If they would have hit that, they still get fouled, so they're going to go to the line and ultimately go up 1 point on us there. The 3 would have put them up 2, which would have been a lot more scary, but we can definitely do this. We have 48 seconds left. A tired, gassed out James Harden bringing up the ball to the top of the key up against Cole Anthony, I believe. And yes, sir. Oh, a step back 3, and it does not go. The classic James Harden shot does not go that time. About 30 seconds left in the game. They have the ball. They are up by 1. We need a stop. Cole Anthony throws up a 3, and thankfully it does not go. Let's see what we can do here. Will Barton bringing it up. Down low to Ben. Ben to Harden, and yes, sir. Get big. Ben to Harden. Get in the bucket. Putting us up 1. James Harden, 30 points tonight in this game. It's going to be shot clock unplugged here for the Magic with the potential to win it and head to the Eastern Conference Finals. This is crunch time. What do we got defensively here? Markelle Fultz driving in, former Sixer, and yes, sir, he does not get his revenge on the Sixers as he bricks a midi. and we end up taking this game 105 to 103 after those free throws. Yes, sir, you love to see it. 20-point performance there from Cole Anthony, 30-piece from Harden, 20-piece from Ben, 19 and 14 from Joel to move us back to the Eastern Conference Finals. Back-to-back years up against Trae Young and the Hawks, a team we did 4-0 sweep last year. So let's see if that's any different this year. And we beat them 4-1 this time, so no complaints from me. Huge game there from Harden yet again, moving us to the finals here up against a tough out in this Nuggets team. And wow, we find ourselves down 3-0. We get a game, but they still knock us out in 5. Nikola Jokic securing himself Finals MVP. Jamal Murray leading the charge in that final game, moving us into year 4 of this sim. James Harden still chilling at a 91 overall, 34 years old. And our team is still looking pretty good in all honesty, I'm not going to lie. Working with still 4-star system proficiency, so let's get into it. James Wiseman securing himself an MVP. You'd love to see it. I think that kid's going to be a baller, by the way. And here we go. Let's check out if any of our guys made the All-NBA team here. And Ben Simmons does make the All-NBA second team, but I do not see Harden anywhere. Looking at the standings, and wow, we come in and miss the playoffs with only 39 wins on the season. 23.1 points per game for James Harden here. 20 points and 12 rebounds for Joel Embiid as well. And Ben Simmons doing his thing as well, so I can't really complain. It definitely sucks that we did miss the playoffs here, but I guess the guys are starting to get there up a little bit in age there. Well, more Harden than anyone, because Joel and Ben are obviously younger. Raptors getting themselves an NBA championship with Mikey Williams doing his thing and securing it in Game 7. Moving us into Year 5, Harden now chilling at an 88 overall, now at 35 years old for this Sixers team, still alongside Ben and Joel. The bench is a little bit concerning to me, but we could see maybe we could have a bounce back year this year in all honesty. Maybe Ben and Joel start taking the reins a little bit more and taking over. Another year here with James Wiseman getting MVP. And looking through the all NBA teams, I do not see our guy Harden chilling on any of them, unfortunately. Looking at the standings, where did we finish up? And unfortunately, we just missed the playoffs as the number 9 seed. So not a terrible year, with the addition of Obi Toppin apparently, which is interesting, who's still only an 83 overall. So really not progressing as much as maybe you would hope. Knicks versus the Suns in the finals here. And the Knicks end up taking it with their young squad, led by Jalen Johnson, moving us into Year 6 here. Let's check out what's going on with this Sixers team in Year 6 of the sim. An 83 overall, now 36-year-old James Harden. And he is no longer starting, which could potentially be good for this team, as he's embracing that 6-man role, still getting 30 minutes off the bench. But coming off the bench as a pure scorer, kind of like a Lou Will at this point in his career, sounds very appealing to me in all honesty. So let's get into it. And yet again, this guy James Wiseman going crazy, getting another MVP. I think that's 3 back-to-back-to-back seasons here. And checking the All-NBA teams, I don't expect to see Harden on it at this point. But let's check out how our standings went at least. And definitely not what we wanted, as we are only coming in with about 33 wins on the season. Huge disappointment for me in all honesty. I thought with maybe Harden going to the 6-man position it would be better. And that also can play into it. Harden is actually no longer on this team, as he was traded in a trade, pretty much him for Jimmy Butler, who are both older and regressing at this point in their career. But he went to the Heat team that is actually a playoff team mid-season, which I don't mind. He's coming off the bench as the 7th man. So maybe they made a move thinking that they're both on the last year of their deal. So maybe they made a move thinking that he would help them win more. Coming off the bench, putting up 14.7 a game, which is not bad by any means for a 7th man off the bench. So let's see how this ends up going. We have a first-round matchup up against Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks here. And let's see if we can grit out some wins. And unfortunately, it's looking bleak. We are down 3-0, and we ultimately get swept in the first round by Luka and the Mavs. Obviously, Luka and the Mavs are crazy in these sims, but it is unfortunate. Harden dropping 15 there, but not enough to take down that Maverick squad. Finals here, you got Cade Cunningham and SGA versus the Indiana Pacers, who are actually rocking out with Devin Vassell as their starting small forward that I just noticed. But the Thunder end up easily taking it in a 4-0 sweep, with that boy Cade Cunningham getting MVP. Moving us into Year 7 here. Year 7, make sure Harden is still with the team, as last year was his last year on that big contract. And it looks like they did end up bringing him back now to 79 overall. So he's going to run it back with the Heat here. And he's coming off the bench in the six-man role now. Still, he's chilling at a 79 overall. And for a fourth year in a row, James Wiseman gets another MVP. And this Heat team is one of the worst teams in the league, with only 24 wins on the season. 15 points per game off the bench for James Harden. But at the end of the day, something's not getting it done, as we only got 23 wins. So Warriors and Nuggets here in the finals in the year 2027. The Warriors end up taking it, and I'm assuming James Wiseman gets MVP because he's been balling out, and yes, sir. And we're here in year 8, seeing what's going on. So we're going to check. He is not on this Heat team anymore. So let's see if Harden did get picked up by anybody. And let's check it out. Chilling at a 76 now, I believe. Let's check it out. 76 overall. Harden has not been picked up by anybody. I will update if he did get picked up at the end of the season here. Giannis ends up getting an MVP. And putting up a decent stat line, but honestly nothing crazy to get MVP there, but it is what it is. And James Harden ends up not getting picked up by any of the teams. Miami Heat team still looking rough without him. So the year with the Heat there with the 23-win season was his final year in the league actually playing. The Bulls end up winning the championship here with DJ Stewart getting Finals MVP. And of course, our guy is going to retire now, so let's check this out. Retiring alongside Jimmy Butler and Kemba Walker, some other great players of this era, of course. Seeing Hall of Fame, only James Harden makes it. I'm a little surprised maybe to not see Jimmy make it, but I guess I could understand that. So James Harden does go ahead and get himself into the Hall of Fame. Jersey retirements, he gets his jersey retired by the Rockets, but not the Sixers. And to look into these NBA records, he has some of the best ones in general here, coming in 6th all-time in points. As well, if you guys made it this far throughout the video, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you are new. Let me know that you guys watched all the way through down in the comments below by commenting GOAT, G-O-A-T, in all capitals, so I can show you some extra love for doing so. I always appreciate it a ton. 3-pointers made, James Harden coming in number 3 all time, behind only Dame and Steph. Free throws, number 4 all time. He has some of these really high accolades here that you just got to respect, to say the very least. Of course, he's not going to have any great ones for the defensive stats here. Let's check out points per game. He probably is actually pretty high in that, as he's coming in 18th all-time with 23.2 points per game, right behind Shaq, which is definitely something to be proud of. 3-point percentage, I'm not sure he'll be on this list, so we'll keep moving. He'll definitely be on like the 40-plus point games and all that, for sure. So it's been Bean, boys. I hope you guys had a fantastic day. Peace out. I appreciate you all.